It is Thursday, Parshas Devurim Bais of Tufshim Pai Vuv, July 16, 2026. My name is Gershy Schwarcz, and I'm your host with the news of the last 24 hours on Edge.
Your daily report of the news of the last 24 hours, powered by Yiddish 24, provided to you by The Click.
Today is Lemonade Day. Lemonade Supermarket, a kosher supermarket in the Catskills. You can visit them today. Erev Shabbos Kodesh to buy all your needs. Tisha B'Av is coming, and you want the goodies for the Oz fasting. So 845-218-1244 gets you free delivery. They accept EBT on the phone, and you can visit the website at lemonadesupermarket.com. Orders at lemonadesupermarket.com. Or again, visit them at 261 North Main Street. It's right in Liberty, New York, in the Catskills. Perfect timing, perfect day. Perfect location. Lemonade Supermarket. They have zaftig, they have a deli, they have a cafe, they have sushi, all the good stuff. Okay, now let's start with the business. First of all, the business sync workshop. We're going to talk about it soon. You know what? Because I'm going to be there, but I want to tell you more details about it. It's in Yiddish, worthwhile listening, and I urge you to take a part of it if you want to be a mensch in your business. I'll tell you soon more. My HomeFinish, Kosher Skinny Shot, and Halo 2 High Functioning Water. Also, we'll talk about them soon. Iran is now targeting US soldiers using their personal cell phones. China is building copies of US military targets deep in the Taklamakan Desert to practice bombing runs on US targets. And the world's biggest book publishers are suing Google, and I might not talk about it. Anyway, all that and more on Edge, and also something about smoking cigarettes that might shock you. Okay, if you want to unlock new levels of success, yes, you have to reframe the way you think, work, and grow. Join this year's Business Sync Workshop, starting the 7th cycle, which is going to happen on July 29, presented to you by Reb Shmuel Yidamashkevich in Fort Lee, which is in the center of everything. So if you live in Williamsburg, Borough Park, Monroe, New York, if you know anyone who speaks Yiddish who can use this, and if you understand Yiddish, you can use this. You want to be a mensch, worthwhile, this guy has it. Somehow people come out of that course and they feel like new people. Their family starts appreciating their presence more because they're there, and the business is also more successful that way. So I urge you, call them today on 718-664-6066. If you don't believe me, call them today, sign up. You get $500 off if you mention On Edge. I asked them to do that especially for my On Edge listeners. Okay, again, the number is 718-664-6066, or you can visit the website Business Sync Workshop. With Baruch Hashem, with God's help, On Edge is bringing to you a powerful, heartbreaking program that will simply tear at your heart. 2 hours of real, personal, heartbreaking stories and songs about the deep, ongoing struggles of our Jewish brothers and sisters in Eretz Yisrael who have been living through this terrible, what should I say? Nisim and Nefluas, but through all these wars and running to the bunkers. But Bechlal, these people that have been living in the kibbutzim, Jews that have come out from the... You know what? I'm not going to say more. Just wait and see for Tisha B'Av. We're going to put out this program, and you will get to hear and join and hear these stories firsthand from these people that have been right there on the battlefield. Let's call it. Okay. All right. With two special people that came specially from Eretz Yisrael. We had them here on Edge. Now, disclaimer: it is in Yiddish. It is in Yiddish. So if you don't understand Yiddish, they only speak Yiddish. But at the end of the day, for those who do, at least they will get an idea of what it sounds like. And yeah, okay. 118 from the menu of Kol Mevaser, 118 from the main menu, and Yiddish 24, which is through my website at onedgenews.com. Okay, shall we do the news? Okay, we are in day 6 of the renewed war with Iran, and the United States military just carried out one of its heaviest fighting since the MOU, the Memorandum of Misunderstanding, failed. American forces dropped a massive amount of bombs on missile factories and cities along the Iranian coast. They also sent specialized sea drones packed with explosives straight into a large IRGC Navy port and destroyed it, obliterated it. The military says they are back at it, and the strikes are continuing right now as we speak. Iran's health ministry says American attacks killed nearly 35 people and injured 300 more. We are hearing now that the US strikes also hit the Bandar Abbas train station. Iranian TV says 2 people were hurt there. US forces also hit a second bridge in the Hormuzgan area. Now, local officials say that after hitting the Karhustan bridge earlier, and the US just targeted the Garia Bridge. Now, if you know those bridges, then you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, who cares? Emergency workers report that these attacks killed 2 people and hurt 4 others. And Tehran is obviously still trying to fight back. They're hitting their neighbors. And wait for it, Iran is actively trying to track the locations of American military members through their cell phones. The US cybersecurity team discovered this because their monitors caught a wave of digital signals from Iran. These signals were aimed at phone networks in a direct attempt to pinpoint where American devices are located. To protect its soldiers, US Central Command blocked the tracking using the security measures it already had. The US isn't only blocking signals, it's also blocking ships that have deals with Iran on the Strait of Hormuz. Just the day after the blockade officially restarted, an empty something-flagged oil tanker from a different country called the name is the MT Belma, tried to sail towards Iran's main oil export terminal at Kharg Island. After the ship ignored multiple warnings to change course, a US aircraft fired highly accurate Hellfire Hellfire missiles directly onto the tanker's smokestack, completely disabling the entire ship. Iran responded using its firepower too. They sent a Shahed 136 drone that hit the Erbil airbase at the international airport in northern Iraq. It's a major hub for American troops, and videos show several more drones were targeting the same base. Inside, obviously, the Americans have upgraded the defense system, which shot all of those drones down. Inside Iran, the head of the country's negotiations team is telling the public to prepare for the possibility of war. Parliament Speaker Mohammad Ghalibaf told the country that they must stand firm to the last drop of blood of their security. He claimed that Iran still plans to use diplomacy to move forward with their national interests. And Caroline Levitt did say that Iran is desperate to talk, and the US is talking to them, but they're still bombing them. And he said that they must always be prepared for a fight, even as the bombing goes on. US President Donald J. Trump said that Iran made a gesture of goodwill. Iran has released a wrongfully accused American prisoner. Dana Karari is an Iranian-American dual citizen who ran a children's charity before she was captured in December 2024. Iran took her passport because they thought she was an American spy. Trump announced on Truth Social that Karari is now safely outside of Iran and in good condition. But this morning, Iran still fired missiles and drone attacks on Bahrain, Jordan, and Kuwait, which are home to American military bases. The terror group, the IRGC, calls the eighth wave of Operation Nasr 2. They aimed at an area where US troops usually gather for meetings, along with a CRAM early warning radar. But there is no immediate report if any of those caused any damage or deaths. So far not. Iran also sent an overnight drone attack on the city of Erbil, with an I, in Iraq. The drone was eventually stopped, but this received a negative reaction from Iraqi Prime Minister Ali al-Zaidi, who was visiting the US at that time. He said that Iraq will stop non-state armed groups, including those supported by Iran. Halo 2. Best way to stay hydrated and take care of yourself a little bit better. Health is all, it's not medicine, it's water, regular water. It's just the basics. With today's processed water, they strip out all the benefits that you really need. Good water has a high level of pH, which is a perfect balance for your body. Your body needs a perfect balance between the acidity and the alkaline. So a high level of pH really balances that out perfectly. It is a perfect defense system, or might I say an iron dome, for all the unwanted, illnesses out there. So grab your Halo 2 right now in all the groceries and stores. The White House believes that Zaidi's visit to the US means that Iraq is distancing themselves from Iran. During the meeting with Trump, the US president added that an unplanned lunch, so used to saying lunch, to the schedule, or like they say in Britain, schedule. Trump praised the Iraqi leader and said, quote, "We have a fantastic champion. A new champion, besides the one he said that he's a great fighter and has been a great fan of America and that he's very handsome." So he says he thinks he's going to be there for a very long period of time. Okay. Al-Zaidi sat next to Trump for several minutes in front of the cameras while the president talked about continuing military strikes and enforcing a naval blockade on Iran. Al-Zaidi did not mention Iran at all during his meeting. Instead, Al-Zaidi spoke about building stronger economic ties with America and making sure all weapons in Iraq are controlled by the government. He also met with Secretary of Defense Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, to discuss taking weapons away from Iran-backed militia and Shia militias. Finally, he reviewed the final withdrawal of American troops from Iraq planned for September. Okay. The Houthis and the Saudis are back at it with each other, at war. The Saudis are attacking the Houthis. Reports say Iran told the Houthis to close the Bab al-Mandeb waterway to the Red Sea, to the Yamsuf, if the US attacks Iran's power networks. Reuters reports the group is completely ready to attack ships near the strait, and they have already set up their missiles and drones for that. Officers from the IRGC, who are already in Yemen, will decide exactly where to close the water. The final choice is being made at the very top of Iran's leadership. The Israeli Supreme Court froze a newly passed law that would protect yeshiva bochurim if they skip military service. Justice Ofer Grosskopf issued a temporary order to suspend the law. So, a Geri yeshiva bocher, even though despite all that, studying at the Yeshivas Fasemes in Yerushalayim, was arrested at the same day. He was immediately sentenced to 20 days in military prison as a draft evader, even though he had already visited the office 3 separate times to try and fix the situation before the arrest. Tensions over the draft continued to escalate on the streets. This also caused another major fight, a court fight over the ongoing draft crisis. A few top lawmakers in Israel are quitting politics. You know why? Because of the recent attacks against the yeshiva bochurim, and they are very against the idea that the military and the government is using its powers to fight against the Torah. The Israeli government has approved a plan to divert over 500 million shekels away from the Arab sector and hand it directly to the Shin Bet, the Shabak Internal Security Agency. This was originally created to boost the Arab population economically and reduce social gaps across the country. Right now, they're shutting down schools that are basically teaching the young Palestinian children all about, how Jews are terrible and how they have to be attacked, which caused them to become later terrorists on the street. So slowly they're tackling this. This is a new operation led by one of those Haredi politicians who is running down to all these schools, and he thinks the best way to tackle terrorism is to start at the beginning, when the children the teachers. You can get beautiful American-made shades, blinds, and even curtains for a lot less money than the other guys, without even giving up any of the quality. You can buy it on Amazon if you want, but then you'll cry. All these scams online that tell you this is the best technology designed by some. Marketing is, some of them is a scam. Besides my marketing, obviously. But the point is that I'm telling you, this is how it works usually. They tell you something and then you believe them. I'm telling you based on testimonials from actual people, real living people in their offices, in the developments, in the new houses. They proudly employ 100% Haimashid. They come down to you, hassle-free service, and people come back for the price, stay for the service, and never come back for the quality. You know why? Because my HomeFinish is long-lasting. You can mention on Edge for a 5 to 10% discount on your order. Call them on 845-372-6613, okay? Or visit myhomefinish.com. My HomeFinish. We reported yesterday that Israel has agreed to pull out its soldiers from certain areas in Lebanon. Now, Lebanon. Specifically, these areas are the pilot zones, which we spoke about many times, which Hezbollah have left or been removed. But Israel still hasn't pulled out. In fact, they are actively operating inside the southern Lebanese city of Bin Jubil. They want to destroy more Hezbollah infrastructure over the next few weeks. Earlier this evening, Israeli fighter jets also carried out an airstrike on the village of what's the place called? Who cares? Just north of Bin Jubil, as if you know. Anyway, and in Gaza, the Israeli Air Force also dropped a few bombs earlier today. 12 people were killed, including a group of Hamas police officers. The head of the information of the military wing of Hamas in Khan Yunis was also killed in a vehicle strike in the northwest part of the city, based on reports out of Gaza. A couple and their young daughter were killed in a strike on a house. Now, obviously, the media, said that there were civilians, but military officials said that clearly those were a family of terrorists. In months, before we go to Muncie, let's talk about Kosher Skinny Shot, because it's time. Kosher Skinny Shot is obviously, it's more than just a weight loss program. It's not just a weight loss program. It's a new beginning for your life. Because I'm not claiming things based on just, things that I'm just thinking in my head. It's actual real life evidence from people who took the shots and they transformed their lives. Fatty liver disease, these kind of things, it also eliminates all that. Because when you eat and you don't have control over the food that you eat, you don't know when to stop. What happens is, you overeat and then your body starts storing the fat in the wrong places. This is why you need Kosher Skinny Shot to guide you, and they guide you. So, call Kosher Skinny Shot today on 845-456-8924. You can still enter to win the free month with Kosher Skinny Shot by calling my number on 845-671-1775. Let's talk about what's going on in Muncie. A new organization in Muncie is working to solve the tuition crisis. It's a major new move. I myself, who live in Muncie, have, could benefit from this, obviously. For the Haimish families and yeshivas, tuition is very expensive. And rightfully so, might I say. It's expensive to run a school, but leaders of the group, which is called Keren Oilam HaChinuch just held a special meeting in Rockland County. 20 administrators from the local institutions attended to go over the new plans. One of the main ideas from the meeting is for these institutions to show their financial data directly to the public. They want people to understand exactly how much it costs to run the schools. The organizers hope this will build trust and encourage donors to increase their support. The OU Kosher organization just held a national Shatnez conference. At the headquarters in Manhattan. 55 Shatnez testers and Rebbes traveled to participate. They came from Florida, Illinois, Maryland, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. Several speakers addressed the group. This included world Shatnez expert Reb Yosef Sayag, along with Reb Ezra Sarna, the director of Torah and Halucha initiatives at the OU. This event was set up to encourage the people doing this holy work and to help the testers connect with each other. Anyway, it was beautiful. The Shatnez is a very important mitzvah. Now, a warning for the community. Chabad organizers across America, Chabad Shlichim, are warning their Shlichim about a fraud known as the piano scam. The scammers send an email saying a relative died and left behind an expensive piano. They offer to donate the piano to the organization for free, but then they ask for a fee just to cover the delivery costs, which usually is by the way, right? You know, these add-on costs? That fee is usually a few $100 or a few $1,000s. Once the money is sent, the piano is never even arrives. Okay, over the past week, a group of scammers has focused directly on the Chabad Shluchim. The emails have reached Shluchim in the at least 7 states of the United States. Those states are New Jersey, Massachusetts, Georgia, Arizona, Minnesota, Utah, and California. Chabad leaders sent out a warning to make sure nobody pays the fake delivery fee. Reb David Katz, let's listen to this. So he drove all the way from New York to personally put up a mezuzah on the government official's door in Washington, D.C. The official is Anthony.
Use it to watch over you, to watch in the entire building.
Thank you.
God to watch over you and give you a long, sweet, happy life for everybody. Beautiful. Thank you so much for inviting.
Thank you, Rabbi Katz.
It's a big honor.
Appreciate you.
So this is Anthony Desposito. Anthony Desposito is the Inspector General of the Labor Department. This happened right after the department finished a major fraud investigation. Rabbi Katz, who is from the Israel Heritage Foundation, told Desposito that, I think Desposito, not the song Despacito, the Esposito, yeah? He should put up the mezuzah for protection. All right. Rabbi Reframe Soloveitchik, the Rosh Hashiva of Brisk, gave his first Shia after being hospitalized for several weeks. The Shia took place at his home. Only members of the Soloveitchik family and a small number of yeshiva students attended. The Rosh Hashiva is still on an IV as he continues his recovery process. May Hashem give him a full recovery. He noted to the students that continuing to teach and learn Torah improves his health. Obviously, continue davening for his Rafiya Shalayim Rabbi Reframe Yeshia ben Etel for a complete recovery. We reported about this a week ago or something. Okay, a 4.5-year-old girl, Freda Hershkovitz, Ulea Shulam Nebuch, was killed in an accident after she was hit by a passing car in Yeshurim in Yerushalayim. The accident happened shortly after midday on Rechav Harav Shmuel Salant. She was between 4 and 4.5 years old, like I said, and is the daughter of Rabbi Yisroel Hershkovitz of the Breslover Chassidim. She suffered severe head injuries and was rushed to Hadassah Hospital by Hatzula in critical condition, and there she passed away at the hospital from her wounds. And Zaka came to obviously take care of the situation from there on and to the proper burial services. Oy, Psiras Tovas. Anyway, a Christian researcher from Poland has helped a large Hasidic family find the exact burial place for their ancestors. The family has more than 5,000 descendants living Einiglich today, and the Zaydis and Babas were buried at a Jewish cemetery that was destroyed by the Nazis. The researcher did careful historical work to find the exact spot of the lost graves. During the research, he also uncovered thousands of other forgotten Jewish burial records. Tuesday night in Flatbush, on Avenue M and East 19th Street, a Yid was brutally assaulted and suddenly pushed with force from behind to the ground by a non-Jew, leaving the Yid with serious injuries. This Yid did nothing to make this suspect attack him, obviously, because he was just standing there and the guy came from behind him and pushed him. Flatbush Shomrim immediately used security cameras to trace the attacker's steps and was later arrested by the NYPD near Avenue M and East 14th Street. Commuters on the North London Underground are seeing advertisements with the message, quote, "Dismantle the Zionist war machine," with a picture of a F-16 or an F-35 from the Israeli Air Force. The only problem is that they are using it to incite violence and hate towards frum Jews in England. Since the October 7th attack, obviously, by Hamas, the UK has already recorded more than 11,300 anti-Semitic incidents. Just saying. Hashem Yishmo v'Yatzel. But still, be proud to be a Jew. Don't be apologetic. The US State Department has approved a potential weapons sale for Saudi Arabia. The deal is worth $1.96 billion. It includes advanced precision kill weapon systems. These are military upgrades that turn standard unguided rockets into laser-guided smart weapons. President Donald J. Trump ordered a 25% tax on Brazilian imports today. Officials say an investigation found Brazil is involved in unfair trade. Right now, it is not clear if the tax will hit all goods or just specific items. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who is also, by the way, now the official president or the outside president of Venezuela, spoke about the decision today. He said President Lula and his government are not negotiating in good faith. Rubio also said that Brazilians' leaders' economic policies are very bad. Speaking of Venezuela, by the way, the death toll has reached to over 4,800 and something people died already. The U.S. State Department will continue to send funding and military aid to Israel. That's because the plan to block billions of dollars for this purpose failed in the House of Representatives yesterday. The measure lost by a final vote of 104 to 314, with 10 lawmakers voting present. The White House is considering releasing intelligence about an alleged Chinese election interference just ahead of primetime address from President Donald J. Trump tonight at 9 p.m. Trump announced on Truth Social that he will speak today at 9 p.m. He plans to announce that a foreign country changed votes in the 2020 elections. But these claims are contradicted by legal rulings stating Joe Biden won. In response, New York Representative AOC +3 is telling television networks not to broadcast the speech. She said they have an obligation to keep it off air because the president's claims lack factual support. President Trump ordered ICE to restart traffic stops immediately, canceling a DHS pause. Homeland Security Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen defended the move, saying agents face an increase in vehicle attacks. Since the second term began, agents have shot 22 people in cars, killing 6 of them, including 3 Americans. ICE agents killed 52-year-old Lorenzo something in Houston last week. Remember the news? I told you. ICE claims he used his van as a weapon, but admits he was not their actual target. In Biddeford, Maine, an ICE officer with no body camera shot and killed 26-year-old Juan Sebastian Guerrero. Guerrero was legally allowed to work in the United States and was also not the intended target. So 2 people innocent, but one of them actually wasn't really innocent. He wasn't the target, but he wasn't innocent. A former Marine running for Congress in Florida, a United States citizen, a Marine running for Congress in Florida, posted a video to social media threatening the life of President Donald J. Trump. William Upham is a write-in candidate for Florida's 5th district. We have in Florida many of these kind of guys. We have also this, I forgot his name again, this Nazi, he's a real Nazi actually. In the video, Upham called the president the Antichrist, and then he stated directly that the president must be killed. New satellite images show China is building exact copies of American military targets in the Taklamakan desert to practice bombing them. The photos taken in May and released to the United States in June 2026 reveal mock-ups of American airplanes and potential military bases. One secret testing site features an exact replica of a U.S. Navy Burke-class guided missile destroyer, a big ship. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has attended his final session of Prime Minister's Questions. He told the House of Commons that this is the end of his political journey. Lawmakers from all sides shared stories and told jokes and showed their respect for the departing Prime Minister. New research, as they say in England, of the Wake Forest looked at 17 studies. They found that smokers who switch to low nicotine cigarettes don't smoke more to make up for it, by the way. So most of them actually smoke less. This is a big help for the FDA to plan to limit nicotine in cigarettes. It's obvious, obviously, because the less you take of it, the less you need, because you realize that, okay, take less. It doesn't urge you to smoke more. The only reason why people smoke more is because the more nicotine you have, it gives you it gives you that addiction. But speaking of cigarettes, just printing the numbers of today. As of today, 480,000 people die a year from cigarette smoking. And that's 8 million worldwide. Why am I saying this to you? Because you need a loan. You need a loan. borrow money. 7. What a silly way to transfer that. Anyway, it doesn't make a difference. The point is, I wanted to kind of finish with a good thing on a good note. But why is Capital Group is a good note? Because if you need money, it's very easy to borrow money from the bank. But the problem is, once you come to the table, you need to bring $10,000 for closing. No closing costs. Call them, find out. 718-831-2168. Arrive Express, 845-622-1111. And from Palm Tree, 845-254-1111. You know where Palm Tree is? Monroe, KJ. And Protobite. For software development, now with the AI war in the race, everyone wants things done automatically. Well, they are the experts. You want anything done AI, but not just done AI. I spoke today to somebody who built an app with AI. He said, yes, my app and my software was built using AI, but it doesn't have these cool AI features inside it, and I'm not sure how to do it. Well, call Protobite. Why are you calling me for that? 347-354-1237. They are your experts. I'm going to finish here, okay? Remember to tune in on Yiddish 24 for Tisha B'Av, the program. It's not just that. We're going to release something else as well. Okay, have a good one.
Your daily report of the news of the last 24 hours. Powered by Yiddish 24, provided to you by The Click.